Greetings, people of the world! Matthew back with you here in Overall Autism for the continuation of Let's Play Final Fantasy XIV, Our Realm Reborn. It is year 2, day 52 for EDSS in the Realm Reborn. It is time for us to finally enter the second half of the Crystal Tower trio, the Syrcus Tower itself, where myself and 23 others, including a very special someone, will be joining me. Namely, my beloved wife from the Ceremony of Eternal Bonding, Sakura. And so, let's go ahead and begin on our journey. So, much like the Labyrinth of the Ancients that we did a few days ago, this is a place that is split up into various sections. However, unlike the Labyrinth of the Ancients, which had 8 sections, this one has only 7. Nonetheless, it is still a challenging destination to come to. But it seems like we have a pretty good roster of party members as we begin the first of 7. And naturally, since this is a tower, unlike the Labyrinth of the Ancients, each section that we go up will be going to another floor. So, after we're going to what was basically the first floor, we're now starting on what we consider the first floor of enemies. And as you can see, we have a whole variety of different enemies. We have dragons, sea serpents, and even shinobis and konichis, which are Japanese warrior classes that we'll be contending with. So, this is our entire group of 24, I do believe. I do not believe there are any other people coming here. Alright, let's get ready to take on these enemies. Once the tanks lead us out, we will be on our way. Alright, everyone says they're ready to go, so let's do this. And one thing you may have noticed, the moment we engaged in combat, the music changed. And that's something you'll notice in normal enemy fights here in the Syrcus Tower, is that whenever you actually engage in combat with a set of regular enemies, the music will become more dramatic. But we should be just fine taking on this first set of enemies here. And this place is known for having really good music. The fact that we have 3 black mages in our group is actually quite amazing. Now, unlike a lot of other dungeons, in fact pretty much every other dungeon we've been to before, you may have noticed that in our current roster list, as well as those in the 2 other groups, which they usually consist when it's an 8-man party, it consists of 2 tanks, 2 healers, and 4 DPS. Well, in this instance, there's only 1 tank per group, indicated by the blue icons. And the missing tank is replaced with a 5th DPS. That's how it is for here, and also how it is for the 3rd and final part of the Crystal Tower territory. But we'll get to that once we get to patch 2.5, because that's where that final part was introduced of the Crystal Tower. So, up we go to the 2nd floor, and what would be considered unquestionably the most difficult fight. Yeah, the most difficult fight is on the 2nd floor, and we still have 5 more to go. Well, trust me when I say, this is not a hard fight. If you can get everyone on the same page and everyone can do everything the way that they're supposed to. But if you have a lot of first-timers, that can be very much different. So you can see party members are spreading all over the map in the 2 different groups, or in the 3 different groups, because there are a lot of mechanics involved with this battle against what's the creature known as Scylla. And it's basically this mutated wizard that you see in front of us, holding this giant staff. So, let's take it to him. So I'll explain the mechanics as we go along, as we see more of them here. Like many other enemies, it does have a basic set of AoE attacks that it will use. But there's also a lot more going on. You see these purple orbs? If one is attached to you, you have to run to one of those thunder beams are located. Because you have to use it in order to erect what will be used, a barrier that will be used for later. Okay, now that one almost targeted me, but I was not chosen for moving the orb. Now if you see a blue orb next to you, that means you're gonna get frozen, and you have to position yourself strategically. Because when we get to the point where we'll see the next part of the mechanic, it works twofold. You see the people with the red icons, with red orbs, you have to take them to people with blue orbs, because people with blue orbs, they're going to be frozen, and you need to use the red orbs, which are basically fire, to defrost them. They're actually very useful later on as we progress in this fight. Now you may see ads called Staves of Eldering. They do not need to be worried about. They're not a real threat if you are a DPS. So just keep doing what you normally do. Yeah, you can see they will amass in numbers, but for the most part they're not to be too much of a concern. Just concentrate on Scylla. Okay, I got a purple orb, so we actually get to demonstrate this. Now how far do I have to run? Because I'm going to have to take this all the way to the far end of the field, because you can only use these Thunder Beams a maximum of 3 times. Once you got it the 3rd time, it's maxed out and you can't use it anymore. It'll already be fully charged. Now this ability, Ancient Flare, when you see it go up, you have to run into one of these puddles that were created when a person with a fire orb ran into a person who was frozen. If you don't, you end up like most of the people in Group A. You die automatically. So don't find yourself in that situation if you can at all costs. Avoid it as best as you possibly can. And of course, as I mentioned before, that can be accomplished by getting into a puddle created by melting the frozen people with the fireballs. Now these blue rings, those are AoE attacks, so be careful of those. Just keep going around the circle. Okay, now I'm gonna get frozen here. So I want to intentionally run into this blue orb and get frozen. Now I have to wait for someone with the red orb to come and defrost me. Thing is, we're beating up Scylla so much, we might not... Okay, yeah, I'm not going to get some help here. What's going to happen is that I'm likely going to die, because this is actually Scylla's ultimate attack. And what's happening is that I'm actually stuck in the AoE, and I'm stuck in so much AoE, I'm not going to be able to save myself here. I'm going to die, unfortunately. Well, someone gave me a little bit of a lifeline. But as you can see, Scylla is now immobilized. If it uses the break, it will unleash its ultimate attack, but if you put up all your barriers by going to the electrical boundaries, you're fine. And then, as you notice, ads will be introduced onto the field. Take care of them as many as you can. You don't need to kill them all, because by this point, Scylla is so low on health that you are pretty close to winning anyway. So, just keep going. I'm really surprised that someone actually saved me, considering how much danger I was in. But Scylla will still have the opportunity to cast Ancient Flares, so if you get fire or ice, just run into each other, and then when Ancient Flare is about to be cast, run into a puddle and you'll be safe. So just let it do what it needs to do. And of course, if AoE goes up, then do your best to avoid it. But holy cow, Group A has almost been completely wiped out. Yeah, A and B definitely carrying this fight. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna try and hopefully demonstrate the use of the fire orbs, but I see no ice orbs, so that demonstration will not be accomplished here. Nonetheless, we gained victory in what was unquestionably the most difficult fight in Syrcus Tower. So now let's move on to the third floor of fighting. Yeah, Group A was pretty much completely wiped out. Which probably demonstrates that I'm not the only person with a first-time avatar here. There are probably also people who have been here who've never been here before with any avatar. Alright, so now we have another floor of just basic simple enemies. All you need to do is just kill all of them and move on, but more enemies will appear after you kill each progressive set. So once you kill this set of enemies, then a new enemy wave will appear, and then once you kill that enemy, then another new wave of enemies will appear. There will be a total of 3 waves that you need to deal with here on the 3rd floor of combat. So as you can see, we have big muscular men known as Acheron, and little baby flying dragons known as Gomoris. And we still have people that are filing in, including a lame duck, Foslar Longfellow, who needs to get moving or else they're going to get left out, because we all know the rule for going to a floor. Once the combat is initiated, you have 15 seconds to get into the side, or else you aren't going to be part of the fight. Yeah, it looks like that person may be either AFK, or they may be on the verge of glitching out and disconnecting, and wow, how did I pick up the aggro? Take this! Take this, Wild Fiend! Yeah, that one person got left out in the cold. Speaking of being left out in the cold, I think I'm the only person fighting this opponent. Oh, looks like they finally found a new target to pick on. Yeah, but these enemies, not real all that threatening. If you can work together, you're fine. Alright, still Gomoris to be contending with. So let's go ahead and deal with what's left. And then, once we get this last Gomori out of the way, run to the outside, because this green dragon comes down. If you're too close to it, the wind that it produces when it touches down will actually damage you. So be careful about that. So general rule, if you're all the way at the far outside, you'll be fine. So far, we are doing a very impressive job of taking down this green dragon, and it looks like the 3rd wave of enemies is early. Yeah, we met Une and Doga at the end of the last episode, the 2 people that allowed us to get into Syrcus Tower proper in the first place. Well, here are clones of them, but these are evil clones. So, once we deal with all of these clones, we can move on. Now be careful about the Une clones, because they can actually cause petrification on you, which will pretty much render you immobile for quite a while, unless someone casts a Suna on you. But yeah, the clones, other than that, the clones really are nothing to worry about. Ooh, Tornado. That could be worrying, but it looks like we neutralized that threat. Alright, one more to go, it looks like. What I need to do is actually change the sequence of attacks and commands on the left side of my control. Yeah, I've already played for this trophy, yeah. So, let's move on. Follow my wife Sakura up to floor number 4. Yeah, so far we're moving very quickly. Even though Group A struggled with that second fight against Scylla really badly, we're doing quite well, I have to say. So, jump on the little spring pad here, and we'll move over to the far right. Now this is much like the battle against Scylla, you need your groups all positioned in certain spots. So, it's in this particular area that our group is going to start against Glacia Labolas. And so here we go. The fight is on against Glacia. Now, what's going to happen here is that this is pretty straightforward. There's not much to worry about unless you make this fight last too long. To make the fight last too long, it can put you into a panic mode if you're not familiar with this place. So he'll cast black AoE rings like that. They can stack on each other, so be careful about that. Oh, and I got the items there. And he'll cast an AoE like that called Vile Utterance. It's a narrow AoE, so it's easily avoidable if you're paying attention. Now eventually, once this battle's gone on for a significant amount of time, he'll use that message. You'll then see enemies on the field called Clockwork Rights. You have to destroy every single one of them. Now, the only way that they will take damage is that someone actually has to breach the perimeter first. but whoever reaches the perimeter first against the Clockwork Right will become immobilized and be unable to fight. So you need to actually, yeah, I'll demonstrate there. You cannot fight until the Clockwork Right has been destroyed, and then once that's happened, you're free to go. So someone has to sacrifice themselves to be able to make the Clockwork Right vulnerable to attack, and then once that's taken care of, then you can start damaging them. But so far we're doing pretty good. We've left this one behind. Now I can see there's one more left. Let's go and give it a big hello with a big, beautiful Spine Shatter dive. So, if you've destroyed every single one of them, you'll be fine, and Glacia Lobolas will not hit you that much. Because you notice the bar on its right that says charge, it only charged 21 out of 100, which meant the more that it charged, the more damage we would have sustained. So now there will be yellow spinning rings out on the field now for the second half of this fight, and you have to try and avoid those as best you can if you're a DPS, because if they touch you, they do damage you repeatedly. So be careful about that. And as you can see, we're actually burning down Glacia Lobolas very fast. I'll mention how important this is once we get to a certain point, because he won't die before he does this. He introduces Clockwork Squires into the field. Once they come onto the field, you need to have your tanks doing their work. You need to get them standing in between these two lasers. You do that, then once the Clockwork Squire is defeated, then it will actually act as a mechanism that will allow you to gain access to safety if your group is either A, not fast enough, or B, not good enough in keeping the Clockwork Squires in one spot. Now, as you can see here, this group is actually struggling to get their Clockwork Squire in the right spot. This can work against us if they cannot move them to the correct area. They need to move over here. Only problem is... that we cannot really cause damage to Glacia Lobolas, and we're gonna die because this thing was not moved correctly. If it was moved correctly, what would have happened is that these panels would have all lit up, and it would have said Outer Ring Teleporter Online. Since it did not, we're all dead. That's considered his ultimate attack, and therefore he gains victory. That would tell me that Group A did not do their job. Group A did not do their job, and their tank did not do their responsibility. Because what they were supposed to, what Tank A was supposed to have done was do the same thing as the other two, and they didn't. So what was an impressive run is now gone. It's a good thing I'm showing you, it's a good thing that doing these various videos on YouTube has allowed me the opportunity and has afforded me the opportunity to show all of you just how not to do these places. Because I've shown you numerous demonstrations in year 2 as we've gone to various dungeons where tanks aren't doing their responsibilities or healers aren't doing their responsibilities and they don't do the fight the way that they're supposed to, and then you get to see exactly how it results by ensuring that we all get killed. So consider this a favor from me to you, that on behalf of all these people, some of whom who don't know what they're doing, I get to show you people how not to do a fight in a place like this. The tank in Group A, obviously. Alright, here we go again. So, since I've shown you, on their behalf, how not to do this fight, let's try this again! If you're the tank in Group A there, Raiden Shiohin, I'm pretty sure that we need to tell you what to do. Because it's your group, clearly, that's screwed up. Because given how well you fared in the fight against Scylla, I would say that if you are the tank in Group A, our demise was your fault. You know it's sad but true. Alright, here we go. Clockwork Rights on the field. I've shown you how to defeat them. Avoid the AoE if you can. Of course, if you're the one who's initially breached the perimeter, then you're going to end up taking the damage. Alright, I've allowed myself to be made vulnerable. This thing should be, yeah, we've got 4 people inside. We should be able to breach the perimeter. Alright, over here. Ooh, still a lot of clockworks out on the field. I finish you off. I believe that is the last one. No, this time Glacia got a little more. This time Glacia got a little bit more of a charge. Still, once he lets it all out and does his damage, back on it. But yeah, the other 2 tanks, if they could see that what Group A was doing was wrong, they really should have picked up the slack there. They should have known exactly what to do, considering that we were all fine. Our groups B and C were fine. Because in a situation where you have 24 people working together, you really should have a situation where if someone's not doing their job in a group, you should have someone from other groups there to cover for you. Just so that you aren't doing a full, widespread dirt among all 24 of you. Right. Our tank did his job. That tank did their job. And this one's doing their job. Okay, it says inner-ring teleporter online. Now, we will not go out to the perimeter yet. If we're fast enough, and our DPS is good enough, we just might be able to kill Glacia Lobolas before we need to run to the perimeter. Get away from danger, keep going. Okay, we did not get out fast enough, so now what we have to do is jump out to the perimeter. Use a teleporter like this, and we'll just go on to the next one intentionally. The reason we're doing this is because once Glacia Lobolas uses his ultimate attack and renders that platform unusable, we now get the introduction of Spanner Rooks. These are the only things that allow us to return to the field where Glacia is, and you have to kill every single one of them. They will be on all of these outer platforms. So once you kill one, go right to another. Yeah, at least not only am I showing you the wrong way to do these places, I'm also showing you how to do them under normal circumstances. But if you have skilled people, then, and they're fast enough and strong enough, then you should be able to get a full elimination before it even needs to come to this step. Thankfully, we're in a situation where now that we've cut off the Spanner Rooks, we can go and finish off Glacia. He won't bring out any new ads. It's just basically you and him and the other 23 people that you're playing alongside. Let's go ahead and use another break. And oh, was that worth it? That would be a no, but he's dead. He's dead, we're fine, we can move on. Alright. Well, yeah, it was worth it to me. I did what was done. Thank you, Thor. Appreciate that. Yeah, I'm the one who went the limit break, but I was stuck in the middle of using it when the AoE hit. So there was nothing really much I could do about that. But hey, it's nice to get recognition from your tank. Much obliged, Thor Valgard. If you ever see this video, I'll make sure that I can see that you were indeed very respectable. It's nice to know when your fellow party members can appreciate the effort that you're putting in. So now we move on to our third and final round of regular enemies. So we have to start with the trio of Azers, and all the while, in the meantime, this red dragon will be out on the field overhead, and if you saw the green circle that I saw, get out of the way of it, because that person being targeted is going to have the dragon not only dive bomb them, but also try and burn them. And anyone else that's caught in the path will suffer damage as well. Alright, so once that's out of the way, you saw the green circle, get away from Taya Yumiko. Now just wait for the dragon to come down. And start beating it up. Ooh, it aimed right at me. There will also be ads on the field that you do need to take out as well. The Haukas. Okay, look out for the AoE. I do need to change that button setup, that command setup, so that it matches my first avatar. The dragon itself is now dead. That just leaves the ads. So let's finish off these things. So Haukas are on ground. The Abias fly in the air. Nothing really to fear from these guys, because you'll be just fine. And there it goes. So, that's all the normal enemy levels. That's 5 floors down and 2 more to go. So now we made it to the penultimate floor. And time for the penultimate boss. You might remember from the last episode, a person named Amon was mentioned. The person responsible for resurrecting Emperor Xande, the main leader of the Allegan Empire, all the way back when. Well, we're now actually fighting the guy in the flesh for this penultimate round here at Syrcus Tower. So, once everyone's all set, we will get started. What was the okay, we don't need this. I am ready. And Thor Valgard will lead us out. So Amon here comes with a whole bunch of tricks. None of them too devastating, but you still want to be careful regardless. Starting with Blizzaga Forte. If you're standing in the AoE when that goes off, you will have the secondary effect of being heavy. If you have Thundaga Forte near you, I think it causes paralysis on you. I actually don't know because I've never actually been on the receiving end of that. What you want to do is keep pounding Amon, and then once you see ads go up by the name of experimental byproducts, then you need to kill those, because those can actually make Amon stronger. And all the while you're also avoiding the Blizzaga Fortes and the Thundaga Fortes too. And those experimental byproducts, they will keep resurfacing throughout the fight. Alright, when you see ads known as Kunkuns on the field, you can kill them normally, but if you have a purple orb, like I do, then you actually want to run to a Kunkun. Because if you do... Okay, it wasn't actually on me, it was on someone else. But yeah, it will actually make Kunkun smaller, and on top of that, much easier to kill. As you can see, Amon's coming out with a whole bunch of explosives now. And I don't need to worry about the Kun Kun, but we do need to worry about the Thundaga Forte. And boy, that is a lot of Thundaga Forte. Now the dimensional things, I actually don't know what they do. I think those are the purple orbs that you use for dealing with Kun Kun. But I actually can't verify that personally. And we got rid of that experimental byproduct just in the nick of time. And we can continue our offense on Amon. Getting bounced around. Yeah, pyrotechnics. If you get struck with an affliction known as a chemical bomb, anywhere you're standing close to that has the affliction will just knock you away. So try your best to avoid standing next to someone who has the affliction. But if you're really forced to be in the situation like I am, then just deal with it the best you can. Now you may have seen a use of music there by Iman. That will indicate that there are now people have now been turned into frogs. And that's bad news for them, because picnics are on the field, and these snakes like to eat frogs. The frog effect will go out the way after a set amount of time, but you want to make sure that, as a frog, you never get eaten by Kabiknik. Ever. Alright. So we're doing very well, I have to say. Group A hasn't screwed up yet, thankfully. Alright, now before too long, we're going to see people get surrounded by ice blocks. When that happens, and there are 3 of them, Amon will use his ultimate ability called Curtain Call. Now, unlike the fights against Titan where you got encapsulated in a granite jail, you don't want to break these things free. You actually want to leave them up, because when Amon uses Curtain Call, you'll die if you're not standing directly behind an ice cage, like one of the bards did in Group A. So we've almost got victory here. Yeah, Group A is definitely not done a very good job of carrying their weight. So let's limit break Amon here. Because, yeah, he hasn't been... This is actually rather easy. This turned out to be a lot easier than it usually is. Believe me when I say that. He's a lot tougher than I showed in this video. But now we get multiple items to gain. Lots of treasures, and hopefully we can use some of them to our advantage. If we get any of them, but those were 4 very terrible rolls, so odds are I did not get any of the items. But we have now mapped Syrcus Tower. And our opponent is right in front of us. So, there is Emperor Xande in all his evil glory. You fight valiantly, mortals, but to no avail. And so now, tired of watching his minions fail, he's going to introduce himself out on the field. So Emperor Xande will be taking matters now into his own hands. Yeah, he claims that now, but we'll see about that. So let's get back out on the field. Here we go. Final round of 7. We've reached the summit of the Syrcus Tower, and there's Emperor Xande. So, getting ourselves ready for this last battle. And still people coming out into the field of battle. I'm guessing these are people that have never been here before, just like Edie. So yeah, let's join our Group C, including my beautiful wife Sakura. So once we're all in position, we'll get started. Thor leads us out, and away we go. Final battle here in Syrcus Tower against Emperor Xande of the Allagan Empire. So, much like Amon, Xande comes with his own little set of tricks. Oh, Sakura blew me a kiss for good luck! Oh, Sakura, thank you! I'm glad I noticed it in time. I'll make sure to blow you one back once we're finished, once we get our victory. So yeah, he has Knuckle Press, which can knock you back. He has Burning Wave, which can cause good damage. He also has other tricks as well that we'll get to see throughout. He possesses a lot of AoE attacks, like the Aura Cannon. That also can hurt you if you're staying directly in the way, and you'll usually target it away from tanks. But once it's gone away, you can then go back to your original position if you're a DPS. So use Knuckle Press again. Yeah, he also use Ancient Quake, which damages everyone if they don't have Stone Skin. Oh, he uses Knuckle Press again. Okay, yeah. You need to get... Yeah, you saw those yellow rings there? You need to get at least one person in every ring. The more you have in those rings, the less damage you'll sustain on one of Xande's more lethal attacks. Alright, stay out of more Cannon's path. Right, now what the Emperor Xande is going to do is going to disappear from the playing field, and he's going to go back to his throne, because he's going to try and get us with these. These are Stonefall Circles. You must destroy all of them, because what's happening is that they're using gravity to pull down meteors that will crush us and destroy us. Once all the Stonefall Circles have been destroyed, make your way to the Starfall Circle, because this will drop down a star, and that will be even more devastating than the stones that were being pulled out on the perimeter. So once all the Stonefall Circles are gone, everyone comes in and destroys the Starfall Circle. Once it's gone, Xande leaves his throne and returns to the field of battle. Now, once Xande returns, you need to watch for people who have these orbs. Now, you want to be careful not to stack them, but you also need to make sure that you don't take too much damage from them. However, you do need to be on these things, because when you use this Ancient Quagga like this, anyone who's not standing on these things will die, like our Black Mage did. Then once that's done with, get out of the way of the Burning Wave attack, because that will cause a lot of damage. Especially when it's stacked like that, because we're all bunched together after trying to protect ourselves from the Ancient Quagga. So at this point, it's really just control the fight and make sure you know what you're doing, because you've seen the worst of what he can do. So if you see a yellow ring and no one else is standing in it, stand in it yourself, and this will minimize the whole damage that will be taken against your group. Yeah, as you can see, 1,300 points, that's not too devastating. Stay clear of the Knuckle Press, or else he'll knock you back. So eventually, what's going to happen is that we should see Emperor Xande leave the field of battle again, go back to his throne, and reintroduce the Stonefall Circles. Unlike before, however, there are now more Stonefall Circles. I believe there are like 5 or 6 Stonefall Circles that you now have to destroy, as opposed to 3 in the first round. And, like before, you have to destroy them all. So once you destroy one, immediately get to the next one you see. Then, if there are any that are still in danger, like this one over here, well, it looks like a whole bunch of Black Mages got that one. So now everyone congregates on the Starfall Circle, and we start destroying it. Now, I don't know... Okay, yeah, you can see it starting to appear on the screen. Yeah, that's why with more Stonefall Circles, that means the risk of the Starfall Circle succeeding are much greater. So much like Emperor Xande's second reappearance. Once again, have everyone come together who has an orb. Be careful not to do it the wrong way. And when Ancient Quagga hits, and then clear out. And then after that, there's really nothing to worry about, except when those yellow rings appear again. That's the only other time you have to worry about possibly taking a whole lot of damage. Other than that, though, the rest of this fight is easy. Yeah, it won't be much longer now. Okay, we see the yellow circles, so let's get to one. So as you can see, lots of us are in these circles. We did take damage, but it wasn't completely devastating. We didn't die. And the limit break is used. I would have preferred to use it myself, but hey, whatever, we've almost got this. And before too long, Emperor Xande is dethroned. Down he goes, and victory is ours. And the sun shines again. Yes! So with that, Syrcus Tower is defeated. And that just leaves one more part of this crystal tower to go. So let's go ahead and give commendations to Thor Volgar, because he certainly earned it. No question. So let's go ahead and play for what was here. Oh, we got something I wasn't planning on getting, but we'll take it. Oh, I could definitely use that. Unidentified elegant tombstone, I could definitely use that. Oh, we got a Sands of Time too? Oh, wow, I scored big time. 3 items? Yeah, let's give Sakura an embrace. Yeah, she's got all the reason in the world to be happy. Sakura, don't run away from my embrace. Well, it's okay, we'll see her again once we're finished. But we still have a cutscene to bear witness to. So once I reunite with Sakura, I'll definitely give her a kiss as well. But, with Emperor Xande defeated, it's time for us to be reunited with Noah. Just in time to see that happen. Yeah, Edie! Yeah, something purple glowing, that didn't look right. And there's Doga and Une, the people we met at the end of the last episode. You did it! You defeated Emperor Xande! Emperor's pyres may rise and fall, but man's indefatigable spirit ever lives on. Truly, you are the champion we'd hoped for, EDSS. With Emperor Xande now at eternal rest, his dark legacy may be undone. Or so you think. Hey Nero, what are you doing with battle gear on? And what's that you're holding? What are you playing at now, Nero? In case you haven't noticed, Garland, there are dangerous surrounds. Can a man be faulted for exercising due caution? At any rate, you needn't mind me. I am perfectly capable of looking after myself. Go on and finish what you came to do. Yeah, like, something smells fishy. There are 2 ways that we may seal off Syrcus Tower. Either isolate it from the outside world, or cripple its ability to produce energy. The choice of method is yours to make. Before you proceed, however, Doga and I must need to tend to a task. And that will be? Yeah, because these 2 allowed us to get into Syrcus Tower to begin with. But yeah, we all noticed that unusual purple energy there. But what does it mean? Well, hopefully Doga and Une have an answer for us. Yeah, that distortion! What is it? I'm sure these 2 know. But I don't think they're ready to tell us just yet. The power that Xande sought to obtain comes from the Void. The world of darkness, our people called it. And the true nature of that power was none other than the armies of Voidsent. Voidsent feed on Aether, as you may already know, and no plane is richer in it than ours. In exchange for their allegiance, Xande entered into an unholy covenant. He would open a gate through which the Voidsent could freely enter our world. The covenant, I'm afraid to say, is still in effect. However, being of the Emperor's lineage, Une and I believe that we can annul it. Well, let's hope you're right. By his blood, Xande sealed his dark pact. By our blood, it shall be undone. It is time. Yes, Doga. Finally we may fulfill our purpose. Yeah, we can see Nero still walking around. So, is Doga and Une attempt to seal this rift? What's going on? Well, what it is clearly not good. Because, yeah, evil laughter. Oh, be still my beating heart! For a moment I feared that this outing would end in disappointment, but my readings were not mistaken. Not even the ultimate weapon compares to this! What are you all going on about? Obviously, we're looking at that. It has to do with that. The Covenant is everlasting. And suddenly... oh, that's not good. Yeah, things just went from bad to worse. And now, we're surrounded by these things. I mean, the Warrior of Light can deal with these, right? Right? But then suddenly... yeah, why is Edie feeling weaker? Because he's using the Echo. Yeah, all these things you see were subjects of Emperor Xande. And so Meta City is brought into the fold. Soon all the world shall be united under elegant rule. And yet, with every dream that becomes reality, the memory of death grows ever more vivid, an endless void bereft of light and warmth. Though I have made defeated of death, it did not leave me unscathed. Nay, its ravening claws have scarred my soul for eternity. Never shall I know peace. Yeah, and he has no eyes either. They're all rolled in the back of his head. Beings without will, you cannot fathom my rage, my melancholy, my fear. What worth is wealth and power when all must inevitably be consigned to nothingness? If man has nothing, he need not know the pain of loss. So let there be nothing. Harvest more power that the gate may be thrown full open. Let the cloud of darkness come and engulf the world, devouring all life hopes and dreams. Let all be returned to nothingness. And now that we've seen that vision through the Echo... yeah, come around, Edie. We could very well still be in danger. In fact, we still are. But it looks like Graha has finally been given permission to use his archery skills. Edie, pull yourself together! Yeah, because they're still coming. Is there no end to them? What in the seven hells is happening? Oh, and now Graha is suffering from his eye. Yeah, we found out of his weird red eye. And whoa! Look out there, Sid! Hey, even Sid can fight too. A crude weapon, certainly, but it gets the job done. Oh, not against a bunch of mages. Oh, thanks, Nero. Yeah, when were you gonna step up and actually help out? Hey, Gunblade? Who do you think you are, Squall Lionheart? Nero, were they part of your grand plan too? Save your jape, Scotland. I didn't put up with your arrogant face to play with worthless clones. Who has the arrogant face? Something controls them. A void scent, and no ordinary one at that. Yeah, someone's in distress. Doga's in a bit of trouble. In fact, he's getting sucked into that portal. Uh-oh, that's not good. And now, Une is trapped in it too. Confound it, without them there's no way to master the darkness! The power is mine! Yeah, he's come seeking Emperor Xande's power of darkness for himself. And he's gonna use all of his Squall Lionheart abilities to get there. Which means he's in no desire to save Une. He's just gonna get sucked in himself. Yeah, enjoy the ride, Nero. But what will happen when we see him again? If we see him again. The Covenant shall be honored. I am the cloud of darkness. I shall devour your light and return this world to the void. And so, away it goes. And the clones finally die. Thank goodness. But we're without the people that got us here. Damn it, the rift is gone. What are we supposed to do now? As much as it pains me to leave without them, there's precious little we can do. Let us return to the find and consult Rumbros. I think that's a good idea. Because we're definitely going to need to request his assistance. We find ourselves in quite a bit of a situation, so let's go ahead and finish the challenge we're at right now. Let's go ahead and meet up with Rambros and complete the challenge, and I'm actually going the wrong way. Yeah, and would it help you to not run into that wall? Yeah, we've already been in this for quite some time. I mean, I'm looking at the video counter, I'm over 50 minutes now, but of course, some of that can be attributed to Group A on the 4th floor in the fight against Glaciolabolas, their tank not doing their job. Yeah, Group A definitely proved to be the lame ducks of our journey up Syrcus Tower, but for the most part, fights went by a lot quicker than they normally would. And especially fights against Scylla and Amon went by much more quickly than I was expecting. And I definitely cannot complain about that. So let's make our way. Yeah, we're gonna go this direction. We want to go to the right because it's the only way we can get around and get access back to St. Poinix Find. So once we've spoken with Rambros and let him know what's transpired, we will have this challenge completed and this day of recording concluded. Alright, so coming over. So Graha's here, and of course so is Rambros. Rambros, how are ya? We've got some good news in one extent, and bad news in another. So after speaking our piece, all this happened within the tower. God preserve. The rift that manifested before the throne was a void gate, of this I'm certain. There exist myriad kinds of void scent. The more powerful the being, the larger the gate must be for it to pass through. 'Twould seem that Xande sought to open a gate of unprecedented proportions, one that would allow this cloud of darkness entry into our world. Fortunately for all mankind, he did not succeed. I shudder to imagine what this void scent is capable of. How dreadful it may be, we can't abandon our friends. Is there no way to save them? I will not lie to you, Master Garland. The situation is bleak. Though void scent can enter our world, instances of men entering the void have never been documented. It pains me to give voice to my fears, but we do not even know whether our friends still live. Damn it, I feel so helpless. No, I refuse to give up. We must save Doga and Une. You think we can do it, Graha? We share the same eye, 'tis true, but that's not what motivates me. Above all, I wish to help them to fulfill their mission, a mission whose burden they have borne for thousands of years. And besides, we cannot leave matters as they are. So long as Xande's Dark Covenant is binding, our world is in danger. 'Tis our duty to prevent the worst from coming to pass. Graha, ever since meeting Une and Doga, you have not quite been yourself. Tell me true, is all well with your eye? Clearly not. I honestly cannot say. I only know that there is a memory that I must recall. As a child, my father told me that the truth of our eye rests with Thalag. The answer eludes me still, but one day I will find it. I am with Graha. However slim the odds, we must try to save Une and Doga. I and that bastard Nero as well, if only to make certain that he won't make any more mischief. And so, where does that leave us? You have the right of it. Though we have known them but briefly, Doga and Une are our comrades. We cannot fail them. I shall consult experts and literature both. I swear to leave no stone unturned. Thank you for that vote of confidence there, Rambros. Yet know that it may be a while before we are ready to act. I would ask that you all be patient. When dealing with the void, one cannot be cautious enough. And I will certainly agree with that. My thanks again for your assistance. Pray rest now while you can, for when the time comes to go after our friends, you must be at no less than full strength. We'll save them, Yashidi. Mark my words. You got it there, Sid. And with that, the Syrcus Tower challenge is officially completed. So, we do have access now to go to the World of Darkness itself, on the last part of the Crystal Tower challenge in patch 2.5. But we will save it for when we actually start taking on challenges within patch 2.5. For now, I owe someone a visit. Let me go pay a visit by Eternity Ring to my beloved Sakura. And just so happens, I'm quite sure she's at the Lavender Beds. Because, yeah, this is where our FC house is. Hey there, Sakura. Thank you again so much for your assistance in helping me through Syrcus Tower. And because you were so nice to bestow me with one of these, I will in turn, once I find the right emote, where's that emote? Yes, blow you a kiss, because you definitely deserve one. Thank you for joining me on the journey to Syrcus Tower. Your healing, as always, was very impressive, just as you are. So, along with Sakura and I, want to stand by a side or two, bring this episode to a close. And so, with that, with the Syrcus Tower part of Crystal Tower now completed, we can now move on to start taking on new challenges within patch 2.4. And so with that, I'd like to thank everyone for watching the continuation of Let's Play Final Fantasy XIV, A Realm Reborn. And when I join you again, we will start taking on the first of the 3 side dungeons. Well, actually, in this instance, there are 2 side dungeons in patch 2.4. The 3rd dungeon is actually found within the storyline itself, so that'll be something to look forward to. But side dungeons first, then we can get on to the story where the 3rd dungeon introduced in patch 2.4 is featured. So until next time, everyone, on behalf of my lovely Sakura, this is Matthew at Novora Autism, saying take care, and I'll see you soon.